What's going on, guys? It's your boy Will. So, have you ever thought to yourself, I could score more points than an NBA player? I know that sounds pretty crazy, but I was looking at some of the worst teams in the NBA this season, and I was looking at some of their worst players as far as points per game average goes. And all of these players kind of seem to average the same amount of points per game. They were all around 3.1, 3.5. That was around the highest. And I thought to myself, if I was given those minutes in those games, I think that I could average more or at least 3 points per game. I know that might sound crazy. I don't want to sound overconfident or too cocky, but you look at the minutes and the games that they're given, and 3 points, I mean, I could get lucky and try to hit one three-pointer, go to the free throw line, all of that. So in this video, we're going to break down the 4 different players I'm going to talk about, and we're going to look at their averages, and I'm going to tell you that I could average more than them if I was given those times and those minutes. So the first player we're going to break down is Matthew Dellavedova. He plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's take a look at his 2019-2020 stats. Before the NBA went on hiatus, they played 63 games. Out of those 63 games, Dellavedova played in 57 of them. In those 57 games, he averaged 14.4 minutes, which is a little more over a whole quarter. And in those games and in those minutes, he averaged 3.1 points. Yikes. Now, this is what I'm talking about. 57 games, 14.4 minutes, that's a whole quarter, and he only gets 3 points. I know his role may not be to score. He probably has other roles that he has to do when he's in the game. But if I was given those minutes, especially if they were garbage time, I know I could get lucky and hit a 3 or try to go to the free throw line and try to draw a couple points. I feel like 3 is so reachable. So let's go ahead and move on to the next player. It's going to be Nicolas Batum. He plays for the Charlotte Hornets. Let's take a look at his stats. He played 22 games out of the 63 so far, and he averaged 23 minutes. That's almost 2 whole quarters. Now, in those games and in those minutes, he only averaged 3.6. That's almost as bad as Dellavedova. He averaged almost 2 quarters a game, and he was only getting 3.6. Again, I know you guys are going to say, oh, his role may not be to score. He's not a scorer. I know. My point is that if I was given those minutes, 23 minutes a game, 22 games out of the season, I could average more than 3.6. And that's the point of this video, is I could average more points than these teams' worst players. So let's move on to the next guy. Ty Jerome for the Phoenix Suns. Now his stats, he's looking at 28 games, 11.3 minutes, so just a little under a whole quarter, and he's averaging 3.5. That's just like Batum and just like Dellavedova, where if I was given those times and those minutes, I don't want to sound too confident, but I almost want to say that I could easily get more than 3.5. I don't think I could not go into a game, and if a teammate, if I was on a good team and I went in and someone set me up a screen, I could hit a 3, I could draw a foul, I could get to the free throw line. I'm confident in saying that I could score 3 points and average that a game. Like, I don't think that's crazy to say. So finally, let's look at the last guy as I'm going on a rant here. I'm getting too worked up. Wayne Ellington for the New York Knicks. He played in 36 games, and he averaged 15.5 minutes. Now, in those games and in those minutes, he averages the most out of the 4 guys I'm breaking down. He averages 5.1 points. Now, I realistically think I could score 3 points a game, especially if I was playing between 30 and 20 games. I know I could average 3 points. 5.1 is a pretty good stretch, because I feel like definitely some of those games I might have a 0 in there. So this one, I'm not going to be too crazy. I know I could average at least 3, but I think the most I could realistically average might be 5, 5.5, maybe 6. Just depending on if I was on a team in this hypothetical scenario. But like I said, 5.1 points, that's really not that bad in 36 games and 15 minutes, especially if his main role isn't a scorer. It's really not that bad. But out of all those guys, I know I could average more than 3 points. And if I was given those minutes, I would be able to score more than those guys on their respected NBA team. Well, there you have it, guys. Those are 4 teams in the NBA, and those are 4 players from those teams that I believe I could average more points than in the NBA. If you liked the video, make sure you comment, subscribe, give me a follow on Twitter, and we'll see you for the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.